This person that I'm getting, you let me know which one it is. I feel like this is somebody who is like a mother figure to you. I'm kind of getting like grandmother energy vibes, but we will see. And then she gives me cold hands, which is another indication to passing in a medical way. About the medical, she tells me she passes in a medical way, something underlying, something that's been there for a while, but then kind of like multiplies or comes up and gets us right there at the end. So whether it's cancer or multiple medical things all at once, she tells me she may have had a hard time getting around, but just right toward the end, and that someone may also have her jewelry. Okay, good. No, that's good. That's fortunate because the fact that I couldn't pull them apart myself, and then you give me one name and it could be both, that is great because we kind of knew that they were going to do that, is kind of come in together. So as long as everything's making sense, beautiful. I would agree that they're both coming through regardless, but I'm going to keep going. The book now option is glitching. You may have to exit out of it and try again. Give me a second here. I'm going to get off my payment screen. My internet's being questionable today, so y'all just bear with me, just bear with me on it. But you can go ahead and try now. I closed my version of it. Okay, cool. So Heather, we still got Tina and Joyce on. Okay, hold on. So the person, so one of them is saying thank you. One of them was, okay, so I think I see a divide. So I think that um one of them was at least one of them was being taken care of toward the end. One of them comes through with a male. I feel like if I have to just imagine it myself just to categorize it, I think Tina comes through with a male. I think that she probably loses him before she ends up passing. And then I see Joyce, and I see Joyce saying thank you. um okay, beautiful. And someone says thank you, and this is my sign symbol for they're being taken care of right at the end. And then they say out loud, I was being taken care of right to the end. So one of them was being taken care of right into the end, okay? And or grandma on her side, which is Joyce. Okay, as soon as I wrote down Joyce's name, you'll probably see that I'm like, okay, I'm seeing the divide here. Hold on a second. Ooh. Okay. It could either be my mom, Tina, or grandma on her side. That would be my grandma. She passed in an assisted living facility. Okay, beautiful. Hold on a second. I'm getting so much from this energy. Let me get a couple things out. You're an empath. You have the ability to sense and feel the emotions of other people before they can physically portray it themselves. I do believe that you have psychic abilities, and I think a main ability would be clairvoyance. Someone reads you a storybook, you can visually follow along really well. That is the tiniest way I could describe that as helpful as possible. Okay, so Joyce says, thank you to whoever took care of her right at the end, and took care of her all the way up until the end. I feel like she passed comfortably. She shows me jewelry, but it's grayed out. So I don't know if it ever got down to you, but there's a potential that it got down to you. Okay, so then I talked to what I would assume is mom. Mom says, I've been coming through in dreams, just not as often as I'd like to. And she seems a very much more sunshine energy that I would say. Your mom kind of feels like, this was lying, the severity of what it was, maybe not what it was, but the severity of what it was kind of went undetected, kind of like something advanced under our nose type of thing. And mom just says it went from 0 to 100 really fast. We didn't necessarily feel like we got a chance to say goodbye. The symptoms went from 0 to 100. And then mom also says that we have could be jewelry, but it's a sign symbol for ashes or the way we choose to honor her memory. And then mom also gives me shirts. I would not put a tattoo out of the question for one of her children. But maybe we even have her clothes that you maybe making some things out of her memories as out of her things as well. That'd be my grandma. She passed in assisted living. My husband keeps calling and cutting my volume off. Well, it's a good thing it's recorded. I feel like I've lost the feeling of them still being around. I no longer see as many signs as I did, and I have jewelry from both of them. And is there anything about a cat? And that kind of makes me laugh, because your mom goes, 1, 2, 3, and she's like counting off other animals. If I'm gonna focus in on a cat, for some reason all I'm seeing is like cat food, or the way something goes through my body, or something that was gotten into or given, or like, had I known, I never would have. And no, and you can't blame yourself for this. Kind of like mom, like things happen and just like peaks at a point. You don't realize, what you're. It's kind of like moves silently before there's any signs or displays that things aren't necessarily going properly. You definitely know how to use my energy. You're like, what about this? Show me this, show me this. And it looks like a little flashlight, and it becomes clear in segments. And so when you kind of like point me around a little bit, sometimes that's what actually ends up clearing it up a little bit. Hey, thank you so much, Lori P, for following me. And I do have a couple people getting in line for these readings. I just want to let you guys know that I only have a couple of spots left. So if you want in, you do have to go right now, katothemedium.com, hit book now, and then scroll down and join my live stream or join my attic space. I'd love to get you guys these benefits while I'm still live streaming today. Do not be shy. And thank you so much for Akaria being such a great moderator and keeping things going all the time. Thank you so much for following me. Okay, and so with Tina for you, Heather, I get the fact that they visit you. I think you're just getting comfortable. I think you have dreams, but they're not exciting anymore. And you still see repeating numbers, but you're kind of used to those. And you still see the element of nature and like, that's mom. So I see magic is still happening in front of you. You're just not allowing it to take you places. You're not allowing yourself to take off or feel the euphoria of excitement about it. So I think you go on a little scavenger hunt, and I say, listen to the radio, that one picture at just the right time, or the next dream you have of your mom is going to be so significant, etc. Okay. And so I would kind of put you in the direction of a scavenger hunt of your own abilities. And I think that, did Joyce mention anything about the last time I saw her? I always wonder if she heard me. She just shows me, again, cold hands. She makes me feel like she's not alone. Thank you to everybody who tended to her. Cold hands, cold hands, cold hands. So you may have been holding her hand and telling her she could go right at the end. And in that case, and then when she was showing me all that gray and how she lost the ability to get around toward the end, this could mean like that's exactly how it feels, right? And so yeah, she could have been just unable to communicate, but very conscious in that moment. Absolutely.